Your brother is very polite and helpful. I guess a low-level woman suits a low-level man perfectly. What? Look! I got 100 points again! Isn't that amazing? But Kodai only got 80.
When I was 7, my sister Kanon, who is 2 years younger, suddenly came to my house. She was exceptionally brilliant and started looking down on me, an ordinary person, as she grew up. But...
Kanon, that's amazing! You studied so hard. But 80 points is impressive too. You did a great job, Kodai.
I never felt like my place was taken by her. In fact, I was able to adore her as my sister. It was thanks to my parents who raised us without discrimination, despite our differences. See? Mom says I'm amazing too. Besides, my studies are more difficult than yours.
What? Don't get carried away with just 80 points. Now, stop fighting. As a reward for your hard work, let's buy some juice on the way home.
Being an only child originally, I was genuinely happy to have a sister. I helped her when she was in trouble, and we bantered when she looked down on me. We grew up like real siblings. Having gone through such a childhood, I, Kodai Tagi, am now 26 years old. After graduating from college, I started working at a mid-sized electronics manufacturer, Nanyo Electronics.
It was fun to see areas we don't usually get to see. I'd like to visit more places.
You're right. There seem to be free factory tours, so let's look for somewhere else to go later. Next to me is my cute and proud girlfriend, 24-year-old Hiro Misaki. We just finished a date at a manufacturing tour event organized by the Industrial Association.
Kodai?
On the way back, it was Kanon, who also became independent as a working adult 2 years ago. On the way back, it was Kanon, who also became independent as a working adult 2 years ago, who called out to me unexpectedly. Kanon, long time no see. Since New Year's, right? Have you been doing well?
Of course! Self-management is basic for working adults. So, who is this?
This is the person I'm dating.
Nice to meet you. I'm Misaki. I've been greatly indebted to him. Are you his family? Yes, I'm his sister. I didn't expect my brother to have a partner. I work as a clerk at an electronic parts assembly factory. I met him when he came for orders, and we started dating recently. Your brother is very polite and helpful. I didn't think anyone would be found who would date Kodai, but I'm glad he found someone. I guess a low-level woman suits a low-level man perfectly. What?
Kanon and I have always exchanged light banter, so she probably meant this as just another joke. But this is going too far. I consciously made my voice stern. Kanon? You can say whatever you want about me, but it's wrong to badmouth her profession. Every job serves people. There's no high or low in work. Apologize. Her eyes wavered awkwardly at my words. She must have realized she said something bad.
Huh! I'm going home.
Kanon turned on her heel and walked away. She didn't stop even when I called out to her, and she really just left. I'm sorry. I made you feel bad.
It's okay. I'm sure she's a good girl, isn't she?
She seemed to notice the confused expression Kanon showed, and laughed it off forgivingly. Actually, Kanon is my cousin.
Huh?
Right. Originally, Kanon and I are cousins who were adopted as siblings when we were young. She lost her parents suddenly in an accident when she was 5, and we took her in to live with us.
Mommy! Daddy! That must have been hard, Kanon.
Right after she was taken in, Kanon was withdrawn. but the fact we had played together before was a big help. After a while, she started smiling at me.
Kodai, I'll give you this because your injury will heal soon.
When I fell, she would get very worried and let me use her favorite band-aids. She had the kindness to lend me her precious toys she got for her birthday.
Huh! My report card is better than yours.
Damn it. I lost again after the first semester? Thanks to spending every day like that, a year after Kanon arrived, we had a much closer relationship than before. No, but my physical fitness test is better every year.
That's what you call being a sore loser.
You little...
You really are true siblings now.
Hiro listened to our old stories with a gentle expression. Yeah, I think this is what siblings are supposed to be like. But this is the first time I've scolded her this harshly. It bothers me that Kanon didn't apologize. I was hoping we could go back to bantering like usual soon, but... Is she taking a bath or something? I called her that night because I was worried, but she didn't pick up. I sent a message asking if she wanted to go out for a meal after a long time, but she read it and ignored it. Still, I thought I would see her at my parents' house during the New Year holidays. Kanon isn't coming back for New Year's this year?
That's right. She seems to be busy with work.
She didn't come back. Seeing her stubbornly refuse to answer my calls, she's probably rejecting me right now. Rather than being persistent, I decided to leave a message, even if it was one-sided. 3 months passed without a chance to see Kanon. Hiro and I finally got engaged and started living together. We decided to wait about a year to get married until our income and savings were sufficient. Then, one day...
Well then, take care and have a safe trip.
Yeah, I'll be back early. Wait, Hiro, what's wrong? You look gloomy. We were about to head to our separate scheduled plans, but I couldn't help but bring it up.
I was meaning to tell you, but you caught me. Actually, one of our prime contractors is a major electronics manufacturer called Mako Technology. Recently, the ordering manager changed to a man named Ogori, and he hits on me every time we meet.
What did you say?
Going out for a meal is fine, isn't it? You can just keep it a secret from your fiancé. If it's about work, I'm listening. I cannot have a private relationship with you.
That man seems to be persistent no matter how many times she refuses, and her worry must have shown on her face. You did your best. For now, you should consult your boss. If it's that difficult, I can mention it casually. I have business at Shimamura Seiko soon.
Wait, Ogori seems to be considering changing suppliers. If I make a wrong move, the company's management will...
Shimamura Seiko, the electronic parts assembly factory where she works, is a small factory with only a few trading partners. It's not hard to imagine that if they were cut off by Mako Technology, presumably their largest client, they would run a huge deficit. Hiro said she has a special attachment to Shimamura Seiko.
For now, stable production is continuing, so Ogori only comes for a monthly regular visit. So I can endure it to protect this factory. Don't worry. I have you, so my heart will absolutely never waver. Understood. But if anything happens, I'll take action too, so let me know immediately.
Yeah, thank you. Well then, see you later. I thought about what I could do for her, but the opponent is Mako Technology, a major electronics manufacturer. I couldn't easily come up with an effective plan. I decided to just be there for her for now.
Do you really think that's okay?
After parting ways with me, Hiro was suddenly called out to. When she turned around, she widened her eyes at the person standing there.
Huh? Canon? It's been a long time. Kodai was just here. I don't care. I'm just here for work and happened to pass by. Then I saw you two by chance and sorry, but I overheard your conversation. Keeping quiet about a client hitting on you? Are you stupid? I guess you'd think that. But Shimamura Seiko is really important to me.
Oh my! Are you okay, little girl? Your knee is bleeding. Did you fall?
Yeah, I tripped.
Shimamura Seiko was on her route to school. Apparently, an employee there spoke kindly to Hiro back then. Since then, she started greeting them every time they met. And then...
Huh? Well, you remember me?
Of course I do. Has it been 10 years already? You greeted us every time we met. When time passed and she visited Shimamura Seiko for a job interview, an employee who remembered her from back then was there and spoke to her. She felt the warmth of Shimamura Seiko again through her reunion with them, and decided to join immediately when she received the job offer.
I like Shimamura Seiko because the employees get along well and are skilled. I consider it one of my places to belong. Everyone is kind, so if they knew I was being hit on, they might get angry. But I can't bear for the company to fall into crisis because of that.
Because it's a company that has been running on a small scale for many years, the employees at Shimamura Seiko have strong bonds. That is precisely why there is a possibility that they would choose to cut the transaction, ignoring profit and loss, even if it disadvantaged the company.
Your place to belong, huh? But surely it's impossible to keep it hidden forever. The people at your company aren't incompetent, aren't they? Besides, if it's such a warm company, surely someone will appear who notices without you saying anything. Just like my brother. That is... I don't think keeping your eyes closed is the right thing to do. Well, it has nothing to do with me, though. Wait! Kodai is really depressed that he hasn't made up with you. He's worried he might have hurt you. So could you please at least send him a reply? Just knowing that Kanon is doing well would surely make Kodai.
Even though Hiro conveyed that, Kanon didn't reply. She watched Kanon's retreating figure until it disappeared. Do they have a visitor? A few days later, I came to Shimamura Seiko for a regular visit. As I visit regularly, I generally remember the scenery of Shimamura Seiko's parking lot. Therefore, I knew immediately when I saw a car I didn't recognize. That's... I was under the impression that the transaction with our company was important to yours.
No. If you intend to repeat the same thing after we've talked this much, we are the ones refusing. Once the current orders are fulfilled, do not get involved with us again. But wait! Madam President, I'm fine!
What I saw through the window was Shimamura Seiko's president, Hiro, and a man I had never seen before arguing. Could he be the man named Ogori? Realizing this, I knew it was rude, but I couldn't help but eavesdrop. Look, Misaki says she's fine. We're just having a friendly chat. Aren't you worrying too much? No mistake. He's Ogori from Mako Technology who's hitting on Hiro. I looked at my watch, and it was almost time for my appointment. Deciding it was perfect timing, I knocked from the outside.
Kodai!
I'm sorry for interrupting. My appointment time was approaching. When I said that, the president panicked as if she had just realized.
I'm so sorry. I'll get ready right away. It must be cold outside, so come inside immediately.
Thank you. However, would it be alright if I delayed a little? I also have something I want to say to him. Nice to meet you. You must be Ogori. My name is Kodai Tagi. Hello, I'm Ogori from Mako Technology. Excuse me, but shouldn't you state your company name when introducing yourself? Let me tell you, our company turns away companies that lack such basic manners at the door. Well, well, I don't think those are words coming from someone leaning back with his legs crossed. No, I have business with you as a private individual. You see, I intentionally omitted it. After all, I am Hiro Misaki's fiancé. What did you say? I heard from Hiro that you are persistently hitting on her, and that she hates to consult her company about it, because if the transaction with your company is cut, it would be a considerable blow to the company. She loves Shimamura Seiko, so she didn't want that to happen. The president and employees who remained at my words gasped. I continued regardless. Even so, the fact that things have come to this means the employees noticed. In other words, you were hitting on her extremely persistently. What's your point? I maintained a watching stance because she seemed to want to avoid making a scene, but now that it has become such a big issue, I won't hold back. This is a police matter. It might just be a warning, but if you continue to hit on her after that, it will be treated as a criminal case, and you will be arrested. It must be quite pathetic to continue being arrogant while becoming a failure. Aw. Sorry for the disturbance. Excuse me. Spitting that out, Ogori left Shimamura Seiko hurriedly, making loud footsteps.
Kodai! Kodai, thank you. And I'm truly sorry for not noticing until now.
No, I'm sorry that this was all I could do. Plus, I exaggerated a bit. In reality, simply continuing to hit on someone after a warning would result in a restraining order at most.
No, their response hasn't been good, so I thought we had to break away from our dependence on them someday. This is a good opportunity. I intend to cut ties cleanly with this. I might make the employees suffer a bit until we find a new contractor.
What are you saying? We've been working here all this time because we're attracted to that part of you. We'll follow you forever.
Kodai, President, everyone, really thank you so much.
This is a really good workplace. Feeling a little envious of Hiro, I proceeded with my regular visit 30 minutes late. After finishing the regular visit, Hiro and I went straight to the police station. Just in case, Hiro had turned on the recording function on her smartphone when she was with him. That served as evidence, and they handled it immediately. As a result, a few days after the consultation, Ogori received a warning. Damn it, those guys actually went to the police. A few days later, Ogori was organizing data to change suppliers at Mako Technology. Either way, it's more cost-effective to cut orders to such a small factory. I have to look for a beauty again, but my promotion is solid. Recently, Ogori had been raising his evaluation by reducing costs and shortening delivery times, and was being considered for promotion to chief. He was pushing forward to solidify his promotion, but...
Ogori, come here a minute.
Is there something you need, Department Manager Miss Tagi? In the meeting room he headed to was my sister, Kanon Tagi. Here, he got stuck on her last name for a moment, thinking,
I received a report from Miss Tagi about your attitude towards subcontractors. That you were brandishing a suspension of business to hit on a woman.
Actually, Kanon's true identity is a genuine elite, working at a foreign strategic consulting firm called Love Koi Strategy. Kanon, whose parents were on the fast track to success, had produced results at this company, while many employees quit halfway. Currently, she's leading multiple small-scale projects, proceeding at Mako Technology as a PM.
Come to think of it, recently you suddenly succeeded in cost reduction and shortening delivery times one after another, didn't you? Explain properly how you succeeded in cost reduction and shortening delivery times.
That is, well, I discussed it with the other party. We have built up trust so far. Ogori mumbled excuses, but there was no specificity at all. It's clear that it's just a deception.
I thought you had finally grasped the knack of negotiation, but to think the reality was this.
Department manager? It's really a misunderstanding. In the first place, why does Miss Tagi know such a thing?
The woman you are hitting on is actually my brother's fiancée.
What? That man's name. Your faces look completely different. You're joking about being siblings, right?
Certainly our faces are not alike. However, he is undoubtedly my brother.
Revealed the shocking relationship, Ogori's body shook violently. His desperate deception didn't work, and the source of the accusation was a relative. Realizing that he could no longer make excuses, Ogori spoke. But it's no problem to cut the transaction with such a small factory, right? It is no longer possible to regain the transaction with Shimamura Seiko, Ogori, who realized this, said. Actually, I'm looking for a better business partner. It's a credit to me, right? If we can reduce costs with this, the result will be perfect.
Don't be stupid. Shimamura Seiko is small, but in return they excel at delivering high-precision, high-density electronic components with a low defect rate. Besides that, high-trust technical ability, flexibility. These are merits to trading with that factory that cannot be measured by superficial data like cost and delivery time. You didn't even try to ask or think about the reason why our company dared to order from a small factory. To think you would look down on them and arbitrarily try to cut the transaction. Do you understand how long it will take to find a company with the same level of skilled workers from now on?
Aww.
Come to think of it, my brother said he consulted the police too. Didn't he receive a warning by now?
What?
At the bombshell statement dropped casually, the temperature in the room dropped chillingly.
It's unpleasant. If you continue to trade with a company that has such an employee, our firm might suffer damage sooner or later too. Depending on the situation, we might have to reconsider our relationship with your company. But if you deal with it properly, that's not the case. For example, having him transfer far away where there are few female employees, or something like that.
Gah. Having finished saying that, Kanon left the place, saying she had another business meeting. The department manager, who was beyond angry, told Ogori to wait for his punishment and left for his superior, leaving the dumbfounded Ogori behind.
I am very sorry for causing discomfort to Miss Misaki and everyone at the company.
The next day, the department manager came to Shimamura Seiko to apologize.
Ogori is currently under house arrest. I believe he will likely be transferred to a remote area. Therefore, we would like to continue our business with you.
I refuse. No matter what conditions are offered, our company has absolutely no intention of continuing business with yours. Please leave.
Being told this much, continuation is impossible. Thus, Shimamura Seiko was able to cancel the contract with Mako Technology. Being demoted to such a remote countryside. And as for Ogori, the situation was taken seriously, and he was given a pay cut and a transfer. This is pointless. There's no meaning in staying at a major company like this. I'll quit myself. So, he resigned before the transfer. He sent out entry sheets everywhere to find a new job, but... why? I'm not getting through it all. As you may have guessed, he only applies to famous companies. Famous companies have many applicants, and it is a very narrow gate. For him, who barely managed to join Mako Technology with his new graduate card, the difficulty level had increased even more now that he didn't have it. At this rate, my savings will... my honor. Eventually, running out of savings, he continued to write entry sheets forever while working part-time.
Kanon, thank you so much again for this time.
Around the time Ogori was given the transfer punishment, Hiro and I were facing Kanon at a restaurant.
I just did what I could. Because losing your place to belong is very painful. It was Kodai who gave me a new place when I lost mine. So when I learned that Kodai had someone important, I got scared and jealous at the same time. I thought my place might disappear again.
Hearing those words, I remembered when Kanon first arrived.
Mommy! Daddy!
Kanon, who suddenly lost her parents, was crying all the time. So her eyes were always swollen, she had no appetite and didn't eat, so she gradually became thin. Kanon. I remember being very confused by the sudden change in my cousin, being in the first grade of elementary school at the time. But... It's okay, Kanon. From now on, I'm your big brother. We can play more than before. I knew instinctively that doing nothing was the worst thing to do. So, although I didn't know the right answer, I hid my confusion and desperately talked to Kanon. Look, you liked this when we played before, right? To commemorate becoming siblings, I'll give this to you specially. As I continued doing that, Kanon gradually regained her appetite and started showing me her smile.
It was the first time I was scolded like that by Kodai, and I didn't know how to interact with you. I thought you might have hated me, so I was too scared to type a reply. But that's an excuse. I'm the one who should apologize. I said things I didn't mean to you, like calling you a low-level woman.
Kanon bowed deeply. Hiro smiled happily at her and muttered as if relieved.
I don't mind at all, so it's fine. More than that, it seems you properly made up with Kodai, and that makes me happy.
Yes, the day after Hiro met Kanon, I received a reply from Kanon. From there, I called her, heard her true feelings she just spoke of, and we reconciled. When I heard from Hiro that she met Kanon after that, I sincerely regretted not staying at that place a little longer.
Sorry, Kodai!
Hey, Kanon. As I said on the phone, you're my precious sister. There's no way I would hate you over something like that. We fight about various things, but somehow we make up. It's a repetition of that. That's what siblings are, right?
Yeah.
Unlike money or food, it isn't something you can see, yet the sense of security a place to belong provides is necessary for people to live.
I get to be Kanon's big sister too, right? I'm an only child, so I'm super happy to have a sister. Nice to meet you, Kanon. Yeah, nice to meet you, Hiro.
Family, friends, lovers, workplace? What important places do you have?
Hello, your wonderful Brittany here with another wonderful episode. So, I do not agree with not telling your superiors about somebody hitting on you or workplace harassment. So I'm glad that Kanon was able to step in and kind of be like, what are you doing? Say something. But I realize it's all complicated, but I'm glad it worked out in the end. So, I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye!